The endorsement comes a day after Biden's last remaining competitor in the Democratic primary, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, also endorsed him. So it looks like the Democrat establishment finally rallying around their party's presumptive presidential nominee. With me now to discuss, Fox News contributor, former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich. He joins me live from Italy, where he has been staying during this pandemic. Speaker, thanks for joining us.
Well, it's glad to be with you, and it's an interesting time, and it's interesting to me that President Obama would wait till the last possible second to endorse his vice presidential candidate. I mean, you know, he had the entire campaign, many opportunities. He stayed quiet until it was over. And I think it tells you how deeply enthusiastic he is for Joe Biden as the Democratic nominee.
The wit notwithstanding, your point is well taken. And apparently, there's a lot of things that went wrong during this whole process. Apparently, Axelrod, who's very close to Obama, made comments early in the process that Biden wasn't necessarily fit for the job. And there have been a lot of folks on the Obama side who have been worried about Joe Biden as a candidate. And yet I think the better part for the Democratic Party, when it looked like Bernie was going to win, they pulled the rug from under him. But the enthusiasm part, to your point, feels like it's still going to be lacking big time.
Well, I think the establishment decided that having an out-and-out socialist was totally unacceptable and would change the party for a generation. Having a guy who is at best not very good, can't remember what he's talking about, often stumbles around, but at least is not committed to radical change in the Sanders tradition, was okay. So they all rallied around Biden. He now is the presumptive nominee. I think every time he shows up, every speech he gives, every Q&A he has, he looks weak. Sometimes he looks like he doesn't know what he's talking about. And I think he's a very high-risk candidate. But if you're the Democrats, he is what you got, you know. I don't think they can find a way out of it.
Yeah, apparently a lot of people believe the vice presidential candidate, nominee, it could be a big help. We'll see who that's going to be. In the meantime, I want to ask you about President Trump's task force updates, these briefings. He's getting some criticism from the right and the left on these things. But I got to tell you, Newt, I don't know if you saw yesterday's when he played the videotape of the media. I thought he turned the tables pretty good. And net, I think it's a help to the American public. Well, what are your thoughts?
Look, if you have the largest crisis that we've seen, at least since World War II, you have the whole country shut down. You have a pandemic threatening the entire planet. And the President of the United States, in a responsible way, surrounded by experts, goes out and briefs the country. I would think that's a good thing. And I think that Calista and I, sitting here in Rome, will often tune in to watch. We find it to be very informative. I think bringing in the CEOs of companies that are trying to help, bringing in the scientific experts. Right. You just, frankly, if you would lower your guard and just listen for a while, you'd learn an amazing amount out of these briefings. And I commend the president for doing them.
And real quick, I do have to ask you about your novel. It's called Shakedown. Tell us what it's all about.
It's real simple. If you're tired of reading about the virus, if you're tired of politics, this is a novel in which the Iranians and the Russians come together to see if they can set off a nuclear weapon underwater near Washington and Baltimore to create a tidal wave. We have two American heroes, an FBI agent and a naval SEAL, and they're out there trying to stop it. So Shakedown, if you're looking for something different, I think Shakedown is a pretty good way to spend an evening.
Well, you've piqued my interest. I'll be checking it out myself. Newt, always a pleasure. Stay safe, my friend.
Great.
We always appreciate your wisdom.